My mom wore a white dress to my Indian wedding thinking she'd outshine my bride. My mom has always been crazy and overbearing, but I never realized how extreme her behavior was until I became engaged and started planning my wedding with my Indian wife. My mom needs to be the center of attention at all times. In the past, my mom has even faked injuries like a sprained ankle just for attention. Every time I had a milestone achievement like graduating from college or running my first marathon, my mom would always make it about her. Like whenever we were celebrating my achievements with my family and they were congratulating me, she would interrupt the conversation to redirect all the attention back to her since I would have accomplished nothing without her. When I met my wife Pia, at university, I fell in love with her intelligence and soft gentle nature. She is extremely patient and has always handled conflicts with my mom with grace. I prefer to hang out with Pia's family instead of my own since it's a way less drama-filled environment. Even though my mom acts very erratically, her latest stunt for attention backfired on her. Maybe 2 days before our wedding, my mom FaceTimed me while I was lying next to her in bed and told me about how she wanted to wear a white dress to the wedding. She started rambling about how she was thinking about attaching a train to it and I just lost it. I told her that I was sick of her bullshit and that she was making me want to uninvite her to the wedding. That's when my mom started with her crocodile tears and Pia literally took the phone out of my hand and told my mom to her face that a simple white dress wasn't going to outdo her Indian bridal dress and she could wear whatever she wanted. I was fuming at my mom but totally impressed with how patiently Pia had handled my mom's idiot plan, which again totally blew up in her face. On the day of the wedding, my mom sure enough showed up in a giant white dress with a long train. She looked so much like a bride and Pia was already in the building so security almost didn't let her in, which put her in a bad mood before the day even started. I found out later on that my mom had spent most of the day making little comments about Pia's dress to her own family, and asking people if they preferred hers. During the ceremony, I could hear my mom trying to start a conversation as loud as she could in order to interrupt, and that's when Pia's 5-year-old niece said be quiet. This is my auntie's day. This caused a bit of laughter and my mom turned beet red and embarrassed. While Pia was walking up the aisle to me, my mom literally snorted like a pig, laughed, and started talking as loud as she could again. It was the most obnoxious thing I had ever seen and I almost grabbed her and pulled her out of the hall myself before one of Pia's cousins escorted her out, insisting that she must not feel well. It seemed like all of my mom's interactions with Pia's family were disastrous. At one point she was complaining to my mother-in-law about how difficult it had been to raise me, and my mother-in-law's response made me see where Pia gets her grace from. My mother-in-law simply said that her children have returned more love than she could have ever given them in a lifetime. My mom looked like someone had hit her in the face with a pan and just rolled her eyes. I guess she was unsatisfied with that interaction and decided to come straight up to Pia and ask if she was sure she wanted to marry me. After seeing Pia's reaction I had to turn completely around in order not to laugh at my mom's face. Pia put the back of her palm against my mom's forehead, made a face of concern, and asked if she was feeling confused or delirious. She said, "Everyone here understands why I'm marrying your son, why don't you?" That's when my mom slapped her hand away and stormed out of the venue. It was the only helpful thing she had done all day, and, as soon as she left, my wife and I had the time of our life, partying the night away with her family and dancing with each other till our feet gave out.